Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to check out this wonderful thing today, which is the Blackstar St. James 100. I've also got the 4x12 cab, which you'll probably see some B-roll of right now, and it's mic'd up in the other room with 3 different mics. I've got an SM57, a Sennheiser MD421, and a JZ Mics Amethyst condenser going through an Audient ASP 8-channel preamp. I think it's the 880. And just a little bit of the features. Obviously, the St. James 100's just come out. It's a 4-channel amp. It's got a clean channel, crunch channel, and 2 overdrive channels. There's a couple of switches within this that you can change the sounds with as well. On the crunch channel, we've got a boost. And on overdrive 2-channel, we've got a tight switch. On the back of the amp, we also have a 3-way power amp setting switch, which changes the sort of frequency range of what's going on with the power amp. You can cut some of the top end in 2 different ways. So there's 0, which is in the middle, 1 that's up, and 2 that's down. And we'll go through those settings individually with the amp. We've also got a power knob on the front here, which can reduce down to, I think, about 2 watts. And we also have the option to select which tubes we want to use. So with this amp, we have 4 power tubes running at 100 watts, 2 6L6s and 2 EL34s. We can have all 4 on, or just the 6L6s, or just the EL34s. So with the channels on this amp, we've got 2 pairs of channels, really, that share EQ. So the clean and the crunch share an EQ, as well as a presence and a reverb. And we also have Overdrive 1 and Overdrive 2, which also share an EQ, a presence, and a verb. And individually, each of them have gain and volume controls, whereas the clean channel has volume and bright. There's an effects loop and various other stuff on the back, such as MIDI, which is really useful if you want a channel switch live with without using the included foot pedal. And the one thing that really surprised me about this amp is just how little it weighs, including the cab. So the head, 100 watt, all valve, because of their new power supply that they use for the heads, it weighs 9 kilos, which is, I think, around about the same as a Hughes & Kettner Grandmeister, which is, it's pretty light, which is pretty amazing. So when I pick it up, I'm always expecting it to be heavier and nearly throw it across the room. But anyway, let's have a listen to some sound. So let's try the clean sound. And we've obviously got all the controls at noon right now. And I'm just going to turn the verb off. And we've got the master crank to about 10 o'clock. Really awesome clean channel. It almost feels like you're playing on a distorted sound, which is really interesting. I always like clean amps that sound like that. Great sounding, clean channel. The reverb's not for me. I'm not really the biggest fan of spring reverbs anyway. Let's go to the crunch channel. Let's use the boost here as well. So let's flick on the boost. It has that awesome breakup that brings it almost, but not quite, to fuzz. I'm going to switch this switch on the back now that has the different power amp settings. So I'm going to go up first. Cuts out a little bit of the high end, the top end on the amp. So let's try down. I think it's a little bit more. Yeah, it definitely smooths it out versus this is the middle setting. So it's almost like a post EQ, so that it makes it a little bit smoother, a little bit more round. Deceptively a lot of gain there as well, especially with the boost engaged. Great sounding channel. So let's move on to Overdrive 1. Try it with the switch at the back pulled up. Yeah, it definitely makes that rounder as well. So bottom now. Definitely makes the tone more brown, if you know what I mean. Yeah, darkens it up in a nice way. So let's move that back to 0. I move to Overdrive 2. So on Overdrive 2, we've also got the tight switch, which we'll play around with. Let's put all the controls to noon again. And it's probably going to be really loud because I turned it up on the master. Here we go, Overdrive 2. Yeah, awesome. Let's try it with the switches. So in the upper position on the power switch. And then down on the power switch. It's a little bit dark for me on that channel with in the second position, but it would be really cool for leads because it does make it much smoother. Super tight. Not got any pedals in this. This is just directly into the amp. Yeah, awesome. Let's try tight. See, for me, I preferred how it felt without tight mode on for like the sort of faster riffing. Versus, you know. And then using tight mode for big chords. So it brings out those upper mids, which can really help with hearing every single note within a really complex chord. But yeah, I mean, what a great sounding amp. Like, every channel is completely usable. It's really fun to play through. Like, it feels really, really good. And it sounds really great when you're sat in the room with it as well. It's just a joy to play. So big up to Blackstar for... Well, I'd actually say this amp is really different than the 50-watt versions. Like, considerably different. There's definitely way more options, way more controls. And... just a more diverse range of sounds, but obviously you've got switches. You don't have the shared EQ between the clean channel and the distorted channel, so there's way more options. Like, for me, I probably wouldn't put reverb on the head because I'm just not the biggest fan of spring reverb, but I understand why a lot of manufacturers still put reverb on amps. But it's just not for me. I mean, if I wanted a reverb, I'd just get some form of pedal that isn't spring or digital spring, you know? But yeah, I mean, we could try it on the 50-watt mode. So we've got this is the outer two. I don't know which one's which, so we'll just try them and decide which one's which. So that's the inner tubes, no, the outer tubes. And then we've got the inner tubes. Listen to the outer ones again. I reckon the top one, the outer tubes, is probably EL34s. There's more mid-range to it, slightly less bottom end. Versus... and then together. So if you've not had the chance to try one, then I wholeheartedly recommend that you do, because it does sound really good. If you're in the market for something that's super lightweight, that is great for a bunch of applications, from playing at home to recording to playing live, you want something that's not going to break your back, then this is something to check out. Weighs 9 kilos. So you'll be able to take it on a plane wherever you want to go, if that's your prerogative, you know. But I like all tube amps. To me, they feel fun to play because it reacts to how you play. That's why I like a lot of tube amps, as you can see in the background here. So special thanks to Blackstar for sending this over for me to check out. And let me know what you think of the tone in the comments. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Peace.